Hey, it's Jason Wolford from Pro Guitar Studio here today to talk about C-sharp tuning. Now, if you've never done this before, this might take a bit of work, but the sound of a guitar in C-sharp is great, especially an acoustic guitar. Might require some thicker strings if you want to do this permanently, but let's take a listen to the song I've put together for this. Both guitars, the acoustic and electric, are both in C-sharp tuning, and when we come back, I'll explain what this is all about, how to tune your guitar, and we'll dive right in. Alright, so now that we've heard the piece of music we're going to work on today, what I'll go over is the tuning, okay? So the D flat tuning, but C sharp is what it's referred to, is every single string is tuned down by 3 semitones, okay? So instead of E, we're going down from E to D sharp to D to C sharp. So 3 notes, or 3 frets in terms of sound. And so the notes we're going to play here are going to be a C sharp, F sharp, B, E, G sharp, and D sharp. So everything has to be brought down, okay? So make sure as you're tuning it, if I have my tuner on here, this is standard E, I'm going to bow here, actually a little higher. That'd be E right here. To bring it down, to a C sharp. Now, depending on your strings, you might find this is very loose. It feels very, very sloppy in terms of the string tension. What I have on this guitar here, I have a set of medium acoustic strings, so I can play in this tuning. So this guitar is set up for this tuning exclusively, just because I like the tuning so much. But I mean, try it out on your standard acoustic or electric. It's going to work. It just might sound a little more sloppy, I guess the best way I could put it. So the strings might vibrate a little bit more, might get a little more string buzz. But it's going to be fun to play with this either way. So diving right into the acoustic guitar part. Once you've tuned your strings, again, this is the sound. C sharp, F sharp, B, E, G sharp, and D sharp, okay? We're going to get right to work. So the acoustic guitar part I put in there starts with some power chords, and I'm playing the 5th fret, string number 5, and then the ring and pinky on the 7th fret, string number 4 and 3. So it's because I'm moving up 2 frets here. So I'll start here, so 5, 7, 7 with the open 6th string, and I slide up 2 frets to 7, 9, 9. Now the rhythm can be the hardest thing to work on here. I'm going to go down, slide, up, and then I mute. Then I do it, yeah, the mute is a down, up. So I'm going to block it out with the strings with my palm. And then up, down, up, down, up. Then I'm going to come from the 10th fret, same shape, 10, 12, 12. So I'm going to do the same thing, 10, slide to 7, up, down, up as a mute, and then slide in from 5 to 7. And finish the rhythm down, so slide from the down strum, up, down, up, down, up. And the key here is leaving that open E string as our drone tone, because we're basically playing an E minor chord here. In more of a riff format, okay? And so slow it down again. Now the next chord I go into is a G, but to make it more interesting, I'm playing the 7th fret string number 1 and 8th fret string number 2. And strumming the open 3rd string. You can also hit the 4th string too. Makes it sound fuller, so instead of the G, I'm doing it here. So I'm doing down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. Okay, and then the next chord, I'm playing the 7th fret, string number 3 and string number 2. And this is a D chord. I'm going to leave the open D string in there with the open 1st string. So a D sus2. So this. So the biggest thing to do when you switch from this 1st chord, making sure you block string number 6 out as you change, because otherwise you get this really ugly sound on that low E string. So alright, now next chord I'm going to go into is an A chord, but I'm playing an A in the 5th position here. So 5, 6, 7 from string 2, 3, and 4. So 5, 6, 7. And I'm going to play the open 5th string along with the open 1st string. Same rhythm as I did on those chords before. Down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. And the next chord is an E minor, but a different shape. So in terms of string number 4, I go 5th fret, 4th fret, 5th fret. So on string 4, 3, 2, 5, 4, 5. And I'll leave the 1st string open as well. This time don't play the A string. You see I'm blocking it out with that middle finger. Okay, and then the next chord is a G, and for this one here I'm playing the 3rd fret string number 2, 4th fret string 3, and 5th fret string number 4, and I'm going down, down, up, down, down, up, because it's half the length of the previous chords. The next one is a D over F sharp shape, so from the 2nd string it's 3, 2, 4. Right, and we're leaving the 1st string open, so this is a D sus2 over F sharp. And then to our standard A shape with the previous rhythm. Okay, so let me play that slowed down. I'm not sure if you can hear this, but how rich that A chord sounds. It's like playing an F sharp bar chord on a standard tuned guitar, but with an open chord. Alright, so that's the second part. And so going through the piece, if you have this, the A section is twice, and then this B section is going to be same thing, twice. So hopefully that gives you an idea, and I'm making sure I'm going back to that first phrase. Okay, I do slide twice in there, so I think before I mentioned just sliding the one time. But you can actually add the second slide. Makes it a little more interesting, and hopefully that lets you follow along with what I was doing there. But let's jump right now to the lead guitar part, which I think is the coolest. and it's all about harmonics. So same tuning. So with this one, you can play it on the acoustic, except these harmonics are not as loud as they would be. I can still get them in there, right? But I'll grab my electric so you can hear that. Here we go. All right, so this part is all about the harmonics, and this lead guitar line had a bunch of distortion added on with some delay and all that kind of fun stuff. I'll try to keep a bit of that delay off so you can hear more clearly what I'm doing. But most importantly, you want to be able to do the harmonic technique. And again, I'm in C-sharp tuning here, so make sure if you're playing along, if you think it sounds weird and you're in standard tuning, just keep that in mind. You can still do this in standard tuning, it's just not going to sound the same as I'm doing here. So 12th fret, what I'm going to do is put my finger right above the fret wire, so not where you normally play, right above the wire, and I'm not going to push down, I'm just going to touch lightly to get these harmonics. Okay, so this can be done on quite a few frets. The most prominent are 12, 7, and 5. And they also go up here as well, but we'll just keep it to this area of the fretboard right now. And so I'm picking string number 3, 2, 1. And the key is to play the harmonic and then let go of the note. If you hold down, it dies out pretty quick. Okay, so you play the note, let go so that it blooms, it gathers momentum. So I'm going to do that on fret number 12 and also on fret number 5, okay? So these right here, the 12th fret is the same note as the open string if we're playing it as a harmonic. So G, B, E. And same here, it's just an octave higher. All right? Now the next thing I'm going to play, this goes over the next chord that comes in, which is going to be the G chord. And this is going to be the 4th fret on the 3rd string, okay? Now this note here, if you look at, we'll say the G triad. Okay, we have 0, 4, 7, it's like our triad. Open is a G, 4 is the B, 7 is the D. So on this string, we can get a major triad by picking the 5th fret. So the 5th fret is G, the 4th fret is our B, it's the 3rd interval, right? It's the same as the fret right here. And then the 3rd fret, a little harder to get, but if you can get it, there we go. It takes a little bit of a different angle to get some of these harmonics. Also a stronger pick on the 3rd fret. But that there is our D note, right? So the cool thing is we can get those fundamental tones out of the triad by playing the 5th fret, 4th fret, and 3rd fret harmonic. So when I'm playing the 4th fret harmonic here, I'm playing the B note over the G chord. And then I go to the root, which is the 5th fret. Now the next chord that comes in is a D. And I go to the D string and I do the same thing. 4th fret, 5th fret. Make sure you pick it hard and let go. So don't hold on. It'll just die out. There's nothing there. They're harder to get. The 4th fret is harder to get. So just keep that in mind. So we have the 4th fret on the 3rd string to the 5th fret. And same thing on string number 4. Right, so it lines up with the chord. All right, so from there, it's going to repeat again. Now the next chord that comes in is an A chord. And what I'm going to do is the same thing on string number 5 to start this phrase off. All right. Now this next melody note here, the next melody notes just fall within the key. So I'm not going to worry too much about the idea of what these are behind the chord. But this note here, the 3rd string, 5th fret is a G note, right? 7th fret on string number 2 is the same note as we're playing, like the same fret. So this is an F sharp. So we have the G. And then the next note I'm playing is the 7th fret, string number 3. That's the same as playing here. So it's like playing a D sus resolving down to the D, if you can imagine that. And I repeat that 2 more times. Then I go to this note here, which is a C sharp on string number 5. And that ends over the A chord, okay? So we have this like... Then it repeats. So there. Now you'll see on the recording I did of this, sometimes I'm using my middle finger because certain fingers for me can can get that harmonic, especially on the 4th fret, a little easier. That middle finger, just the angle of it, allows me to touch it much lighter and release it quicker. So it is still a hard harmonic to get, so not the easiest, okay? So all together, let's just play through that part so you can hear it. So the first section. Second part. So there you have it, some nice harmonics using the C sharp tuning. Okay, so two things that are a lot of fun here. The C sharp tuning, one of my favorites. It's just, often you won't see me teaching with that because standard tuning is what it's all about in that sense. I mean, most of us use standard tuning, and I do all the time too. But when it comes to playing some, something for fun, C sharp tuning is a great thing to have up your sleeve. Okay, so have some fun with that. The harmonics, the chords, all that fun stuff. And for all students here, you get access to the PDFs, the recording of this, all that fun stuff under your student account in premium content. And for anyone who enjoyed this, subscribe, and I'll see you next week.